this team has a legitimate chance to get to the college football playoff. And while at first glance, you look at their statistics defensively, you're going to sit there and say, they finished third in yards allowed. They could take a little bit of a step. Maybe they can find themselves in a good position defensively to match what they're obviously going to get from Michael Penix and the offense. But then you dive a little bit deeper, man. And so many of their issues in the pass defense last year are going to be addressed. Maybe I'm just too optimistic, but they're going to be addressed just by tackling a little bit better, man. I mean, I'm telling you, man, this team, tackling-wise, all three levels, they led so many big plays on the hook. If they could just get off the field by dropping guys in the open field, they'll be in such a good position. I'm also pretty intrigued by a couple of guys that did not participate last year. One was at SC, one was out. These are two guys that could very easily make a difference. Raylan Goforth was at USC. He's a potential difference maker, 147 tackles in his career with the Trojans. He could probably the top end of that defense, could be in a great position as far as tackle productivity is concerned. But I'll tell you what, keep an eye on this name. Edafuan Ulofashio, okay? When you are able to pronounce it, he's terrific. Ulofashio. Okay, this guy can flat out ball. Now, we're going to see exactly where he's at, but he's a guy to keep an eye on. Ulofashio. Okay, that's his last name. This guy is the real deal, so keep an eye on him. Really, you look at some of the other aspects of their defense. Gave up 26 touchdown passes, gave up 8 yards per attempt. These are all problematic. Did have 7 picks to show for it, but that's not enough, especially when you're going against teams that are throwing it all over the yard because you have to match Washington point for point. You're going to surrender. You're never going to be a top 10 defense against the pass. Let's just acknowledge that. It's not going to happen. Why? Because teams are going to have to roll the dice offensively against you. If your team couldn't score, guess what? You know what I'd do if I were an offense? Slow the game down and figure it out. But either way, you're going to have to match Washington point for point. Washington went out and they've found some depth. They go out and get Oklahoma State transfer Jabbar Muhammad. I think he's got a chance to be the top cornerback that they brought in. Michelle Powell was a starter last year prior to getting injured. Julius Ervin missed most of 22 with an injury. So you also noticing a trend there. They were banged up last year as well. So there's a lot to like about what they bring back just from a health standpoint, what they've added already in the portal, and the addition of a JUCO transfer in Thaddeus Dixon, who has the size and length to play in the back end of the position. So I'm very optimistic about Washington taking some serious strides forward on defense. They almost have to if they really want to keep pace with some of the great teams in college football and make that run on behalf of the Pac-12 to the college football playoff.